Welcome to Magenta Trader Software. My name is Derek Pilger. I'm the founder, and I'm also the host of our free webinars that we have 3 times a week. And you can go to our magentatradersoftware.com and to our webinar page for more information on the free webinars. I've had a chance to look at a lot of different videos about various tools to help you trade. And on these videos, I do not see a lot of new tools. I see a lot of plans to use existing technical indicators, etc. But I don't see any unique tools. That is where we are different. And let's start there with our charts. The first chart we're going to look at is Apple Computer, and we're going to look at a seasonal chart. We're going to see if there's any seasonal plays for Apple Computer. And our yellow composite line that we see running through the middle of our screen, it is looks at a mean or an average of all the past 10 years. The past 10 years are represented in blue, and that mean average line is represented in yellow. The red dotted line is the current date, which is dynamic. Okay? The other thing that is different with our seasonal charts is that we look at it not under 365 days. If you're looking at it 365 days and lining up September 19th on September 19th, sometimes that's going to be a weekend or a holiday or a week. Now, what we've done is we've eliminated all the weekends and holidays. There is no filler or there are no spacers that add information that's not necessary to your charts. When we changed over to that, we had a remarkable improvement to our seasonality. Now, also, Mondays line up on Mondays, Tuesdays on Tuesdays, etc. Not only do we do a 52-week, but we can do the same thing, a 52-week, but line things up when the options expire each month, and every month it's going to recalibrate. The third way of looking at seasonality is earnings. So our pivot point now is changed to when earnings have been reported over the last 10 years. I can find out the week before what happens and the week after what happens when an earnings comes out, and we can see a significant movement up here in Apple. Okay, so much different way of looking at seasonality, a much more improved way. The other thing that we have with ours is additional information that can prove beneficial. Here's our data chart that we have some unique features as far as what our range is and coefficient, so I can pin it down and look at a variety of different information. Here is a coefficient of correlation, what our growth rate is, what the actual values were for the previous years, etc. And as I hover over Navigator, I can open up Apple, and if I want to look at each individual year, all I have to do is hover over each year. Now the benefit to this is too, what happens if I just want to look at the last 5 years of Apple? It's a completely different company after the iPod came out. All I have to do is just click on these to eliminate it and recalibrate. Or let's say in 08, it had a big downward turn this time of year during that fall that probably will not happen again. Let's just eliminate that, highlight our seasonality, come here to Properties, and if we hit Exclude Hidden, that's going to recalibrate the seasonality. Okay? So if I come over here to our Navigator, you see that we have 2008 eliminated, and it's recalibrated, and we see that it's moved upwards during this time period if we look at the 9 years without 2008. Right? Other features, if we want to look at the strikes, we can look at a screener. We have an earnings report, so you can see if the actual estimate. We can have our symbol finder, and we can see a variety of different exchanges that we have access to. Okay? If I want to look at, let's say, the CME, if I want to look, let's say, at Forex, We do all these things as well too. And we also have an option chart that we'll go over in greater detail on our videos. Now, when we look at seasonality, we can look at some other charts, and one of them that comes to mind is ESI. Now here is ESI, seasonal play, and we see that it has two movements up, but a very strong movement up here in the end of January. Why does it have a move up during the end of January? I've got some theories to it, but the fact that it does, and this is why we look at ESI, which is IT&T Educational Services, ITT Technical School, and that's why we make the play on ITT during the end of January every year. Okay? Now, if we were to take a look at a stock, Sienna, I'll push it in, and as I click it on, we're going to download it on a web-based application. What that means to you is that you do not download the data yourself. We do that on our server. A big movement forwards in seasonal software. And this is a chart where we see all of the moving averages along with seasonal plays and our candlesticks. Let's go to our default of looking at prices of the candlesticks for the last 6 months, and we've overlaid it on top of our mean/average line, our yellow line. Now, in this particular case on Sienna Corporation, has Sienna followed what we predicted? They have we put them on the same starting point on the same scale, and we can see that it has followed what we predicted in the yellow line. And we see now it's starting to turn upwards. Is it a possibility, because over the last 6 months it's had a very strong correlation, is it possible that it's going to extend it for one additional month? Very probable. Okay? So we're looking for Sienna to go upwards now. Okay? And we can take a better look at it. Our channel lines that we have are unique to the industry. Nobody else has our channel lines. So in order for them to be beneficial, we need to zoom in on a tighter scale. There's our scale, and we see that it's starting to change directions. We can also see that if we move our hand tool from right to left, and we can see that it's moving downwards and starting to move upwards like we predict on the seasonality. If we want to look at to see what type of strikes make sense for us, we can go to the navigator, click on option strikes, and then we can go to options, put on, let's say, October, and we can see the various strikes. We can also look at November. And let's say we want to look at the puts. And there are some examples, some puts for November. The red is the open interest, and the box on top of it is the actual volume. Now, we have tools to actually be very precise in picking out options as well too. Okay. Other tools include the screener, which will help us find the great stocks, and you can watch our videos on the video page for more information. Now this is just a 5-minute synopsis of our software. If you want to learn more, you can go to our videos, or you can go and we archive all of our webinars. And you can take a look and research to see what we predicted actually came true and how we have a very good track record. Once again, this is Derek Pilger with Magenta Trader Software, and I appreciate your time and interest. Thanks again.